Vocational education and training has been a concern of particularly employers and unions for many years. When the federal Labor government was elected in 2022, one of their new policies was to reform vocational education and training. ASQA has now released new RTO Outcome Standards as part of the reform process. The new standards operate from July 2025 and they're divided into 4 key areas: training and assessment, vet student support, the vet workforce, and governance. We've prepared a report on how to address the ASQA 2025 standards, which cover the first 2, areas 1 and 2, training and assessment, and vet student support. Industry and employers have been dissatisfied with the current vet system for many years. The major problem has been unsatisfactory training. For many years, industry has been very critical of vet course providers for not adequately training people to work in the industry. Unfortunately, accredited courses are generally regarded by industry as being just an academic piece of paper that does not train people in how to do a job. Industry wants people, when they have completed an accredited vet course, to be job ready. This means that they have received during the course training in the knowledge and skills needed to competently undertake a job. Training should cover how to undertake a list of key workplace tasks that a student will be expected to complete. This means following a best practice procedure to complete a task. The reason many current vet courses do not satisfy the training needs starts with the course developers. Most RTOs employ academic course developers, experienced in writing assessments and complying with every performance criteria in a qualification and units of competency. Very few RTOs arrange for course developers experienced with the job roles involved to write their courses. Academic course developers generally are not capable of writing workplace task procedures, such as those detailed in Section 3 of the report. Many RTOs and course developers rely on the unit of competency as providing the basis for the content of the course. This is not correct. Units of competency do not prescribe content and only list very few actual workplace tasks. In the report, we have an example of a qualification of the Certificate 4 in Finance and Mortgage Broking. This is a good example of what the performance criteria and the units of competency indicate with regard to the tasks that someone has to undertake if they're doing the role of a finance broker. Typically, they are very, very general, such as carry out work tasks according to organisational policies and procedures and in accordance with industry, organisation and community expectations. There are only a very small number of performance criteria that can be regarded as prescriptive with regard to actual course content or workplace tasks. It is up to the RTO to develop the content that addresses the needs of industry while still satisfying the performance criteria. How to design vet courses. for students to be job ready. The basis of this is to incorporate workplace task procedures into student training. This is critical. Otherwise, students are not ready to work, they're not ready to do the job. So following will be how to fix the vet training problem. This starts with a new training plan that incorporates workplace task procedures, which is critical to fixing vet training. How to fix the vet training problem while also addressing the revised RTO Outcome Standards. Poor training is the main issue, not poor assessment. Specifically, students who complete an accredited course are generally not job ready. Addressing the problem does not involve amendments to the qualification documents or the unit of competency, as it is not an assessment problem. It is the training that is provided within a vet course that needs major change. Workplace procedures are a description of how to undertake tasks in a typical workplace. Industry want people to be able to follow a standard procedure to undertake a range of specific workplace tasks. They need these to be written by the RTO, which really requires an experienced industry representative to prepare. As an example, for the Certificate 4 in Finance and Mortgage Broking, a finance broker typically will help people obtain a home loan. One of the first actions they take is to meet the client. The broker must follow a specific company policy to do this, and an employer expects a new student to be able to do that. Typically, training would be expected to cover the key workplace tasks of a documented procedure, an explanation of where the resources are and how to find them, tools and templates, and models or examples. An example of a typical workplace task procedure is how to meet the first client for a finance broker. This procedure here has been written by an experienced finance broker and is an example of what should be written for a procedure to undertake the specific tasks, and that should also be expanded to all the tasks that are considered necessary to train someone for the roles that the RTO has decided to target for their course. Once procedures are written, they can then be incorporated into a new training plan. The basis of the training plan is to list all of the key workplace tasks and procedures. The critical part of it is once the training plan is prepared, it needs to be signed off by somebody experienced in undertaking the roles. This is not a course developer. This is an industry representative experienced in the roles to be undertaken by the course. So the training plan will list all the procedure documents, how the training is to be undertaken. Will also include reference to resources. This is an example of a training plan. It lists all the key workplace tasks. Then after that, lists all the resources, procedures, resources provided in the course, how the training is to be provided, methods, whether it's face-to-face classroom, virtual classroom, or fully remote, with all the other associated training methods proposed. And finally, the training plan is signed off by initially an industry representative who could be an employee of the RTO, but needs to be someone experienced in the job roles, and then signed off by someone else, a second industry representative, as being indicative of what's required for the job roles.